Hello everyone, Hector Mendoza here. Today I'm going to post 4 videos on how to create a world map. You know, like let's say you want to use it for a logo or whatever you want to use it for in Adobe Illustrator. So on one of them, if you notice, the horizontal lines are arch different on one side than the other. Then I have another one that if you want it arch, actually that one will be the same way. Let me see here. No, so you see I have this one arched this way and then this one's arched this way. So on this other one I have it arched this direction and then this direction. Then I have another world map with just straight lines. So there's a lot of ways of doing it. So I'm just gonna do 4 of them. I could probably do 20 different ones and still find other ways. But so I broke it down into 4 different videos. So if you do a search for create world using the shape builder tool version 1, then I got the version 2, world map using blend tool, create world map using blend tool with an arch. So those are going to be my 4 different videos. Before I get started, the first thing I do is I organize my windows and my tools. So there are a few things I'm going to be using. So if I go to Windows and then I go to layers, that's one thing I'm going to be using. Now if I left click on the word layers and I move it over to the right, you see that blue line? Once I release it, it's going to stick it right inside that blue line. The next window I'm probably going to use is stroke. Okay, so I would select my stroke, I grab the word stroke and put it next to that layer. Now I have those 2 there. Then let me see, stroke, layer, let me see what else I might need. Let's just do one. Oh, let's use swatches. Okay, I'm gonna left click on the word and I'm just gonna stick it right there. Now with this, see I have this stuff here, right? You see those double arrows on the right? I can collapse that and give myself more canvas. And once I start using my layers and everything, all I gotta do is click on that. I don't have to stroll through a bunch of things to get to where I want to get to. The second thing I want to do is I want you to go to File. I want you to go Document Setup. You see right here in Units, I want you to select Points. It'll just be easy for us. Once you start doing your own stuff, you can use inches or, you know, millimeters, whatever you want to use. It doesn't matter. But for this purpose, let's use points. We're going to hit OK. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a circle and we're going to duplicate that circle 2 times. So look at your tool. If you left click in this area here, yours might have ellipse, polygon, star, or flare. You know, what we want to use is the ellipse tool. I want you to left click anywhere in the page. I want you to type 300 tab 300 and then hit OK. I want you to click on this selection tool. While it's selected, if yours is not selected, then lasso it, hit Control X, hit Control 0, and then hit Control V. That places that circle right dead center. Now don't do what I'm about to do. I'm just going to show you something. So I'm going to hit Control X. I'm going to move my page higher, and then I'm going to hit Control V. So what Adobe Illustrator does, it places it dead center of this area here. So I'm going to hit Control X, I'm going to hit Control 0, hit Control V, and we're back to where you're at. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to layers. This is called layer 1. We're going to double click on the word, and I want you to type circle and just hit enter. While this is selected, you see these 3 lines to the right. I want you to left click, and I want you to duplicate circle. We're going to select circle again. We're going to click on those 3 lines, and we're going to duplicate circle again. So now you should have circle, circle copy 2, and circle copy. The next thing we're going to do is create a couple of lines. I want you to go to your tool. I want you to left click in this area. If yours does not say line segment and yours have one of these other selected, I want you to click on line segment. I want you to, it doesn't matter where, I want you to left click. I want you to hold your shift key and drag to the right. And the reason we're selecting the shift key is so that when I move, you see I can move back and forth and it moves, right? And I move up and down, it doesn't make my line crooked. Because if I let go of my shift key, it will make it not crooked. It'll not make it not straight. So I'm going to hit my shift key. Once I know that it's straight, I don't care what size it is at this point, I'm going to release my mouse and then release my shift key. Now that we have that line, while it's selected, you see up here on the top we have X, Y, W, and W stands for the width. So we're going to double click here, and I want you to type 300 and then hit enter. Now I want you to get that line, which is selected. If yours is not, lasso around it. I want you to hit Control X, that cuts it. I want you to hit Control 0 to make sure that the page is in the center. Then I want you to hit Control V. Now what we're going to do is we're going to grab that line. Well, no, first deselect. I want you to hold the shift key. I want you to grab that line, and it's gonna snap right there. You see where it says intersect? I want you to let go of your mouse and then let go of your shift key. Now deselect it. I want you to hold the shift, control, and the alt key. You're gonna left click, you're gonna drag down. What we're doing is we're duplicating this, and all those other key is, one of them is to duplicate, one of them is to keep constrained. Okay, so now we're gonna, until it snaps right to the bottom of that line, we're gonna release the mouse, and then we're gonna release all the other keys. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna create some lines in between those lines, and we won't have to use mathematical equations for that. So the first thing I want you to do is click on the first line. I want you to hold the shift key, select the second line. Make sure you don't select the circle. Now the next thing we need to do is go to objects, or object. Go to blend. You see right here on blend option, I want you to make sure that yours says specified steps here, and I want you to change this to a 9, and I want you to click on orientation. I want you to click the first one, then I want you to hit OK. The next thing you do is you go to object, blend, make. Now you created those lines. Before we continue, one thing we got to make sure, while that line is selected, we need to go to Object, Blend, Expand. If we don't do that, the rest of the steps are not going to work. Alright, so the next thing we need to do is remove these lines on the outside of the circle. If you hold your control key, go right to the center of this circle with your mouse. You can push your mouse. Okay, I'll tell you what, I'm totally wrong. Hold your Alt key, click on that circle, and move your mouse up. That will make this up bigger and smaller, and it'll keep it centered. Because if you hit your control key, it goes back and forth, right? So Alt will enlarge right to the center if you have your mouse in the center. If you have your mouse down here, it goes to the right. But if you click here to the center, it enlarges center out. We just want to make it a little bit larger for us to do what we're about to do. We're going to remove this extra lines from the outside of the circle. First of all, you know, you wanted to make sure that everything is selected. If everything is not selected, it's not going to work. I want you to go to the left of your toolbars. You see right here, you have this thing called Shape Builder Tool. I'm going to click to the left of it so you can see that yours might say Live Paint Bucket or Line Paint Section Tool. So make sure you have Shape Builders Tool. Now you might not see this on the monitor, but on my mouse I have a little plus right underneath my selector tool. If I hold my Alt key, that plus turns into a minus, and yours should say the same thing. Now I am gonna left click and move my mouse in between the line and the circle. Okay, so all I'm going to do is do those. There's one here and one here that I'm not going to try right now. I want to enlarge the area first. I'm going to left click, do this other side. I'm going to left click, go right here. Remember, you're going in between this little point and that line right there. So I'm going to left click. All I'm doing is just drawing a line right through there. Now I'm going to hold my Alt key and I'm going to put it right here so that I can enlarge this area. While I have my Alt key again, I can select this little one, select this little one. I'm going to reduce, go to this other side and enlarge. And then I'm just going to select that one and select that one, hit Control 0, and now we have what we were looking for. So on this video we're doing the simple world map. So the lines are going to be horizontal. We're just going to keep them just like that. We're not going to arch them or do anything else. So for right now, I want you to click right here and change that circle into horizontal. That way we can keep track of what we're doing, and go ahead and turn it off. Let's turn on the circle copy to. I want you to select this direct selection tool. If yours doesn't say the direct selection tool, I hope it doesn't say that, but we want to make sure it says direct selection tool. Hover around here until you see the anchor box. If you click here and you only see 2 anchors, then that's not what you want. You want to make sure you click here and you see the white box that says anchor. Once you click on it, you see 1, 2, 3, 4 anchors. If that is like that, I want you to delete it. Now the next thing is, if right here, if your fill is set to white, then I want you to click on this little box right here that says none. That means that the fill inside will be none. So now it should have a white box with a slash through it. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna duplicate it and flip it at the same time. So if you go right here and yours says rotate, this little tool here, I want you to left click, I want you to hit reflect tool. Okay, while this is selected, if it's not selected, make sure you select it. Then I want you to double click here, make sure that it says preview. Okay, and then I want to make sure that it says vertical. You'll see a little dot there. I want you to change that to a 90, and then I want you to hit copy. Now you have two of them, right? I want you to go to the selection tool, deselect it, hold your shift key, you're gonna left click, drag until you see the intersection word. You're going to release your mouse, your left mouse, and your shift key. Now the next thing we're going to do is create those vertical lines, and they're going to actually be vertical lines that are arched. So what I want you to do is left click, lasso those two circles, because if you notice, even though it doesn't look like it, it's two circles. So you select both of them. We're going to go to object, we're going to go blend options. Okay, on the blend options, make sure it says specify steps. We're going to put 9. Orientation, I want you to select the first one, hit OK. Then I want you to go to objects, blend, make. Now if you didn't like how many lines there is, or you wanted less lines, you could click on the object, go to object, go to blend options, and make sure it's preview. Okay, so let's change it to 5 and hit OK. See, objects, blend options, and we're going to change it back to 9. I just wanted to show you that you could change it as long as you don't break it, or if you don't go to blend and you expand. Once you expand it, then you can't do it. Now let's turn on this bottom horizontal line, and there's your world map. So thank you for watching my video. If you enjoyed this, give me a thumbs up. Watch my other videos. I got some other ones that show you how to create this world maps differently. There's a lot of ways you can do this, but these are kind of the simple ways. Again, thank you for watching my videos. If you're not a subscriber, I would appreciate if you give me an opportunity to be one of your subscribed persons. Thank you.